Sarge in charge. The reigning CUSA Women's Tennis Coach of the Year serves up her time ahead of the start of the spring season. Sarge's energy, enthusiasm, and competitive spirit fueled today's edition of Tech Drive. Voice of the Bulldogs, Kyle Schasberger here on Tech Drive from the AD Suite at Joe IA Stadium. The Sarge effect is showing its influence here on the podcast this afternoon. Bulldog head women's tennis coach Amy Sargeant joins the program. She rides shotgun, known more affectionately, though, as just Sarge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this might be the last time I use Amy.
Correct. Only my mom says Amy, and that's when I'm in trouble.
Okay, yeah, I can understand why you hate it to a certain degree. That's reserved for mom only. To call you by that. It's part of your brand, though, Sarge. And it plays. How long has that nickname stuck with you?
From as long as I can remember, since I was a kid, my dad was Sarge. And so I guess I'm the second head of the household, being the tennis player. But it's been there since I was a freshman in college. Sarge this, Sarge that, and now it's Sarge in charge. So I'm the one that gets to point the finger and tell you what to do.
I love that. I hadn't heard the Sarge in charge until just before we started recording, so that's beautiful. Season begins this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're so excited. The Hurricane invite in Tulsa. How fired up are you?
Extremely fired up, especially since we've had 6 really good days of practice here this year compared to last year. I think we had 1 practice because of the weather. But the girls are ready, and it's a great kickoff for us because I kind of get to see where we're at. And the level is really good. And so I'm excited to see my returners step up and do what they can do and then challenge my 2 newbies. I'm looking forward to seeing them compete.
You bring up the weather in practice, and that's interesting. But I'm curious, this is year 3 for you, entering your 3rd year here in Ruston. How different is it from the first couple, aside from the additional practice compared to last year? But following your 1-year stint as the interim head coach at Clemson, you come to Ruston. What is different? How much more comfortable are you entering year 3?
I feel at home. I think I've finally settled down and got to know the community. And the more fail to prepare is preparing to fail. And I think year 1, you're kind of figuring it out. And we had a snowstorm year 1. Year 2, we had a lot of rain and it was like 35 degrees and we were practicing with gloves for 20-minute stints. In year 3, I feel like the weather is on our side. And so I feel like each year that goes by, I'm a little bit more prepared. And so I right now I feel comfortable. And I'd say that word lightly because I don't like to be comfortable. But I feel like I've done the best I can. We've got a great staff and we worked really hard over the last 10 days and it's a lot better than it was last year.
Yeah, I love that you say you don't want to get too comfortable because complacency can then set in. You want to be comfortable being uncomfortable, you know, and that's when you're at your best. I want to wax on your team and come back to your history and your British roots and all of that. We'll touch on all these things. But Zoe Epps is entering her junior year, special player with name recognition around these parts, certainly after earning first team all-league singles and doubles honors last spring. She set individual program wins records and also for doubles while teaming up with Anna Rodriguez. And she even competed in the ITA Conference Masters Championships late in the fall, the All-American Championships before that. What makes Zoe Epps so special?
She's just gritty. She is the definition of a bulldog. She latches on and she doesn't let go. And I think with Zoe, our relationship is different because I've known her for a long time. When I was at Oklahoma, I've known the Epps family, and it's our connection that is why I get out of her more than what I expect because of the relationship. And, you know, it's like that big sister, little sister. And I'm on her all the time and she's coachable. You ask her to do something, she'll do it, and she'll do it 10 times over to make sure she's got it right. And, you know, for her, this is a very big year because it's hard to back up the year that you had last year, but she's becoming more of a fearless leader now. And so she stepped into unknown territory this fall, being the All-Americans, winning 3 matches in a row, having points away from beating a girl top 60 in the country. So she's there And now it's her believing and knowing that she's earned the spot to be a top 100 ITA player. And I think you don't know that you belong until you're there multiple times. And I think she's just one big win away from earning herself a spot in top 100 rankings.
And she's from Norman, right?
Yeah.
So you struck up that connection, relationships, right? And she comes here because of you. And you say that what she achieved and accomplished last year, that's hard to back up now. That's the next challenge, right? Does she seem like somebody who's embracing, though, that challenge of, okay, how do I stack another tremendous season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, she wants to win. She's like me. I'm competitive. I lose at a game of cards, I want to play again. I lose at a tiebreak, I want to play again. And she's that person. And she leaves practice always. I put money on the fact that she leaves practice knowing she got something out of it every single day. And there's some days that she might not win that tiebreak, but for her, the lesson learned is that mental fortitude, because she is a dog. She just hates to lose and always wants to get better. But I think the biggest connection for me and her is I've learned how to coach her heart, and she's learned how to respect mine, and I think that's why she is the leader of the program, and that's why she's going to have a successful year. I believe in that.
She's one of 8 on your roster, the only one who grew up stateside. So excuse for me not even trying to attempt to say some of these names. But the native countries include England, France, Greece, Ukraine, Japan. That shouldn't come off as a total shock, given obviously your English background. But across the pond, it appears that's extremely fertile recruiting grounds, and you certainly have a familiarity with that quality of talent.
Yeah, I think tennis naturally is an international sport. And when I was in college, I was one of 6 internationals. I think there was 2 Americans on my team my freshman year. But I think, culture brings a lot of diversity and a lot of different game styles. And with my recruiting background and my heritage, I got to have another Brit. You got to bring home to your new home. And then I just love the variety of tennis that we have. Our Japanese player, Mio, is not your typical Japanese player. She hits with a lot of spin. She slides around the court like she's on ice, and she's very elegant when she plays. Marisa from Greece, she's 5'3", and she's a mini-me. She grinds and she hits out the corners really well, and then unknown to your opponent, she'll play a drop shot. There's a lot of talent there. My Brits, I love the serve and volley. Alice, the reason I recruited her is because she's got that Tim Henman, that serve and volley approach come in, and she's got a little bit of better accent than I. And then Izzy Walker, homegirl from Birmingham. We shared the same coach, and a lot of our stories cross over, similar to when I was 15, 16 in England, and you're fighting for that number 1 spot, and you just miss out, and you're like, don't really know what's next for me in my tennis. And so I grabbed her at the right time, and she's grown so much in the last 3 months, Kyle. I'm excited to see Izzy compete, because I haven't seen her compete fully yet, because the fall was tough for her, but she came back ready to go. And then my 2 Frenchies, they're sweet on the outside, but then when they compete, they're feisty. June is just the definition of energy. There's never a dull moment with her. Win a big point or win off an ace, you can hear her from all the way in the softball facility. And then Nina, she's just fast. She's got her highest beat test this year at 41, and she's an athlete. And so I'm excited to see what she can do as a junior. I got her as a transfer, and doesn't matter if you're a sophomore or a junior transfer, your first year is your first year under a new coach. So she's got a lot to prove, and she's already done that these last 10 days in practice.
It's amazing to hear you talk about your team, and you can hear the love, but the eloquent way in which you describe things. Like, I need that word economy in my play-by-play, the way you're describing some of their movements and them as people and competitors. I need you to start sending me some notes of things I could work into my broadcasts and in descriptors. That's great.
I can send you some slang version too from Birmingham.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You've added a new assistant too in Eleonora Molinero.
Yes.
Who started at the University of Tennessee, collected more than 100 victories, and she's from Luxembourg. What element does she bring to the program?
Wow, I am so lucky to have her. I remember recruiting her at Wimbledon. I think it was 2019, and I was at Oklahoma at the time. And I just loved the way that she played, and it didn't work out. She still continued to play pro, and then the year that she went to college, I missed out on her. But I think through relationships, throughout that process, we stayed connected. And when she was graduated from Tennessee, she emailed me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. You can't get them a first time, but a second time you can grab them up. And without any hesitation, she was like, I'm going to come coach with you, going to do a grad degree. And she just offers a different experience than I. Like, she played on the pro tour. She was top 300 in the world, top 10 junior. And these are things that I can't even relate to. And a lot of our girls, they want to be pushed and see if they can go on the pro tour after college. And she's there to help them, guide them through practice. Let's challenge a practice set. Marisa and her, they're always competing because Marisa wants to go pro. And she's like, one more set, one more tie break. And Ellie's like, come on. Mm-hmm. And so she just offers a peacefulness. I'm the rowdy one. I'm Sarge in charge, or bad cop. And she's the good cop that's just offers that calmness to the girls. Yeah. And I'm super fortunate, and I don't have to ask her twice to get anything done. She thinks 2 steps ahead, and yeah, she's just a great asset to the program and the team.
That's sweet. I had to quiz Kay McGuire before our visit, who is your SID, just so I didn't appear to be a total fool with some of the language and understanding the schedule and the breakdown and all of that. So bear with me here while I try to outline what this spring season looks like. But Kane, certified good dude though, right?
Yeah, Mr. Statistician.
Yes. He's the sports information director who I've been traveling with men's basketball, spending a lot of time. He's obviously speaks very highly of you. But the schedule, as I understand, is dual focused. Individual doubles matches are a part of each date on the calendar, much different from that abbreviated fall slate where it's more individual focused. There are 8 home events here this spring that are scheduled at the La Tech Tennis Complex starting Saturday, January 24th. You've got 2 against Southern Arkansas at 11 a.m., so mark your calendars for that. Come out and support the Bulldogs. 5 CUSA home contests are sprinkled in, followed by the league championship in mid-April from Murfreesboro. How would you handicap the schedule that you've put together for your group?
It's designed to win. This year, compared to past years, we've just condensed our goals down to 1, and that's to win. We want to win a conference title. And last year we lost in the final, and it was bittersweet. It's like you celebrate making the first final in program history, and you don't take a second to breathe because you wake up the next day and that's the final. And we just ran out of time. I don't believe we got outplayed at all in any position. We had 5 freshmen in my lineup, or 5 newbies per se. So this year the schedule's designed to win. I want to be ranked top 75. And everything that we do every single day is to win a conference title. And we're speaking it, we believe in it, and we're doing it. And so I with our girls, I believe in talking the language now and not just the day of. So it's not a shock to the system. And I think for us, compared to last year, we were shocked that we made the final. And in my heart, I'm like, no, I knew we were going to make the final. I believe in my team. But it's like, how do you do better? And I think when you come second to an almost title, it's okay, well, bring it on. I'm actually going to take it this year. So everything is designed meticulously, from a Power 4 team at Mississippi State in February on the road. That'll be a good test for us to see where we're at. And then, Tarleton, Texas State, those are good matches that Tarleton have beat us the last 2 years. And that's a team that, is a must win for us. And then going into the conference tournament, anything can happen. But I know preparation is what we're doing. And I know that our girls want it more than me. And I think the culture's there and we're prepared. And it's their year to bring back that championship title.
Yeah, outstanding. I love the confidence. That conference tournament in Murfreesboro. So we were there with basketball week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and Kane, the wizard statistician, SID that he is, and I don't tell him enough, awesome at his job and helps me so much. he tried to infiltrate that tennis complex and get some photos outside the basketball arena, the glass house, but they had that thing locked up like Fort Knox. So I don't know if he told you that.
I think they knew that Kane was about to
Yeah.
arrive because
Yeah.
he does the rounds everywhere he goes.
Right.
But you want to create that environment. And so maybe we need to lock up our facility.
Yes.
But no, I think, MTSU, they've got the home court advantage. But, I love the idea of having the conference tournament held at a conference school, which is nice. And we'll play them mid-season. So we'll get to know the environment and the feel and how the courts play prior to the championship itself. So, like I said, we're preparing to win that title.
Y'all have had some pretty cool enhancements to your own tennis facilities since your arrival. Reimagined team room and locker room. Courts have been resurfaced. There's a new scoreboard that is prominently displayed now as you pass on Alabama Avenue. Although new is relative because there wasn't one before.
No.
In a sport where we take score, we didn't have a scoreboard.
Yeah, and when Kane is not here on match days, we're all trying to figure out what the score is. But very grateful, and I put that down to the work, the hard work the girls put in. I think success comes in different ways, and it's nice to be recognized for the success that we had last year. And that scoreboard is massive. When you stand by it, I look like an ant, and then when I stand on the court, I feel bigger than the scoreboard. But it's exciting. They deserve it, and for the fans and the community, so they can actually see what's going on and read the score and go, oh, I've got to go into court 6 and share the energy, because that's the ultimate goal, is put the fans where they're needed the most. And so now with the scoreboard, they'll know where to hover over to and heckle and cheer on whoever's about to close out a match, hopefully.
Yeah. So 19 wins a year ago, third most in program history. Bulldogs' first visit to the CUSA title game, which you've pointed out already. It resulted in you earning CUSA Women's Tennis Coach of the Year. Pretty big deal. Does that present any additional pressures or intensify the standard that you're putting forth for your group that you've set forth heading into this season?
No, but honestly, I didn't expect it. I just work in silence. So I stay humble to, from where I'm from in England. I'm from a small town in Birmingham. And so I always believe be grateful from where you're from and just keep working and working. And to get that honor was, again, it's down to my team. I wouldn't have got it had we not made the final, but I thank them for it. But I just keep doing what I'm doing. I believe in consistency. We do a lot of the same drills. I show up every day and we do the basics extremely well. That 10,000 hour rule of mastering a skill takes 10,000 hours. And so I just believe in showing up, giving 100% effort, and leave the court knowing that you gave everything you got. And so I would love to win it again. We all want to win. But, I think this year it's the team's time to win. So I'll be happy with that conference championship.
That town in England, Walsall?
Walsall.
Walsall? Okay. Saying it right?
An accent?
Yeah.
Walsall.
Walsall?
It's
close enough.
It's close enough.
Walsall. When did you first pick up a racket?
I think I was about 4 or 5. I was a daddy's girl. He played soccer, or as we say, football, and tennis. And so every weekend he'd push me in my pram, which is...
Pram?
Pram. In America, I think you call it a stroller.
Okay.
Or a pushchair, we call it. And so I would just watch him play, and I guess I just picked up a racket, and his coach was my coach growing up until about the age of 10. And I would just go play with him as much as I could. I wouldn't say I was very compliant at that age with parent-children relationship, but I thank him for where I'm at today and putting that racket in my hand and the ball at my feet. And yeah, just daddy's girl got me into the sport.
So your dad, the biggest influence in you turning into this tennis connoisseur and just player. Your love for the sport came because of your father.
Because of my dad, love for Liverpool Football Club, because of my dad, you'll never walk alone. Yeah, he's just a sportsman, and I feel like we're very similar. We wear our hearts on our sleeve, and we are emotional, but we don't show it as such. So like believe it or not, I'm an introvert most of the time. I hold on to my feelings, and I'm learning how to to share and let go more. But I'm my daddy's girl through and through, and a little bit of my mom. You know, my mom is the loud one, so when I need to, I'll get on the line. But yeah, he's the reason why I'm into my sports, and not the NFL though. But I'm just a sports fanatic.
You and I are going to have to discuss more the Liverpool aspect of this at another time, because I haven't gotten into the international soccer scene the way a lot of people. It's grown so much in America. Like, it has become more of a thing that people are latching onto a certain team. You know, not near obviously what you're familiar with from across the pond, but Liverpool was the team that one of my good buddies was trying to get me to choose a team that kind of resonated with who I am as a person and the certain pro teams that I represent. Liverpool was the closest, and I'm like, okay, let me give them a chance. So yeah, you'll never walk alone. I remember that as being like the standard, you know, mantra type thing. But I only watched a couple matches, and it never took off. But I'm willing to revisit that idea. So Liverpool sounds like a good.
It's
good
the only
selection.
team to support.
Is it still Klopp who's coaching?
No, it's Arne Slot now.
Okay.
And so he's still finding his feet.
Okay,
But
all
you
right.
know, never say never. Season's long.
Okay. See, well, at least I remember the old coach that they had at that time. And the NFL, you're an Eagles fan, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, my condolences.
I know.
Sorry,
I know.
they won last year.
You know, we can't win them all.
Yeah, you
They
can't.
won last year. It's my time to win this year. There we go.
I can get on board with that.
There
I
we go.
certainly am. This podcast drops before the Bears' second round game in the divisional round, so my team is still alive, pumping and breathing. What a comeback this past weekend. Shouts to Carson for hosting me. That was quite an experience. You played collegiately at Florida State. It's even where you jump-started your coaching career. Earned your bachelor's and master's in Tallahassee while serving as a two-time team co-captain. 3-year team MVP from 2011 to 2013. And as a senior, you became just the 5th Seminole to record 30 singles wins in a single season. Your .811 winning percentage, second best in FSU single season history. Had you been to America before choosing to come to Florida State?
Just Disneyland.
Okay. All right. So
No.
all that build up though with your credentials, again, to further illustrate and demonstrate how successful you were in the sport before even coaching, but that had to have been like a huge leap of faith, right? When you left to come to the States to go to college?
Yeah, it's a unique story really, because like, you know, every other tennis player, you try and play pro, and you don't realize how tough the tour is. It's a grind, and I'll never forget, I'm in Turkey and I'm playing qualifier 128. I qualify, then I get the number 1 seed, and you fly all that way, you qualify, and you don't get 0 points, you don't make any money, you're out of pocket. And Florida State called me, and I chose Florida State because they had an English coach, and you know, the team reached out to me, and so I chose blind. I just trusted my faith in that English connection, and so, you know, a lot of my experience at Florida State is why I coach how I coach now. It's through relationships, through, you know, bringing that sense of home to where you're at in your new home. And you know, it was some of the best 4 years of my career. And, you know, a lot of adversity. I had 2 hip surgeries in my first 2 years there. And, you know, you don't do everything right the first time, and you learn to do it better the second time. And come my senior year, it's the last go around. And so you kind of throw at it. You go to a place that you've never been before. And so speaking back on our conference final last year, it's, you know, you have to dig deep into your gut of like, you haven't experienced something like that. And so you just give all you got in that moment. And from that moment, you learn how to do it better the next time. And, you know, and I think college each year you get a little bit better, 1% each time. And so it was the best 4 years. Year 4 was amazing. And we lost in our second ACC final. It was gut-wrenching, but I wouldn't have changed a thing. I had the best teammates. I had the best coach. Jen coached from her heart. She was a great team mom. And the assistant at the time, he was the Brit. And so we leaned on him a lot. At least I did. And it was almost like just do or do not. He was a Yoda guy.
Yeah.
Do or do not. There is no try, you know. And so I wouldn't change a thing. And through that experience is why I'm in coaching. And I just love it. I'd give anything for my team, and every girl I've ever coached, I'd give the shirt off my back for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hear you have a pretty sick one-handed backhand too.
It's decent.
You still ripping it?
I still rip it every now and again.
All right. You wore a headband at FSU also.
Headband, hat backwards, anything just to annoy the person across the net.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Make them hate tennis. You know?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Looking for every edge, advantage, and it can be, getting in someone's mental kitchen.
My goal was to make them hate tennis, being 5'3", 2.5", whatever, 5'6" on a good day. You just figure out how to beat your opponent in more ways than just with what you have, and whether that's speed, a headband, the worst grunt ever. I had an annoying grunt. You just got to find different ways to beat people at different times, and I try and instill that in my players, and Zoe can get in your face, Izzy can get in. Everybody knows when to put the foot down on the neck and break it. Yeah.
I love that. I would like to think I have some of those identifiable traits and kind of nastiness when necessary.
Only when necessary.
Yeah, when necessary. You're playing chess, not checkers. So to be able to gain whatever edge, advantage, and I operate and live my life in such a way too. And I know a lot of people probably hate me for it, but look, that's part of my Chicago roots too.
Hey.
And the way I was brought up. What's the most identifiable trait of Sarge now, the coach? Either what you're wearing or how you're operating, or if somebody came out to practices, like what would you want them to see? What do you think would be their takeaway?
High energy and locked in. Like I'm go, and I want to do things right. And so I'll stop things and I'll correct it and I'll do it. But I would say energy, feistiness, and locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it too, it could be the liquid death you're drinking.
Oh gosh.
Or the what is it, cinnamon in your coffee?
Cinnamon in my coffee with oat milk, my liquid death. I'm still waiting on an endorsement deal. They won't email me back. Sparkling water. We all have our vices, and those are my 3.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, you know of one of mine too, but we won't share that on the record. Florida State, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Clemson, all your stops along the way in this profession. In what way would you say you've most grown as a human over the years, over the last decade?
I think each chapter you grow and you're taken into the next chapter, and for me, I'm thankful for everybody I've worked under and worked with, and learning how you like to coach and how you don't like to coach. And I've learned this year, where I've said I'm more comfortable, is I'm finding my own voice and my own Sarge effect. I'm not the Clemson's effect. I'm not the Oklahoma effect. I'm my effect. And so I've got my little ingredients and secrets to success, and that's why our culture's there, and our girls will die hard and they'll fight to the ends of the earth for me and for each other. And so I just thank each chapter for making me stronger and learning, and I'll just carry on. The one thing that I've consistently have given at every stop I've been at is I've just always coached their hearts of the players.
Couple more minutes with Sarge here on Tech Drive. I don't know if you've been to Patton's recently. There's Patton's downtown, Patton's Western Wear, but we got to rep Tech. We got to rep the Bulldogs. You can go to Patton's. It's a North Louisiana tradition since 2007. Styles and brands for everyday life. Hundreds uniquely designed and officially licensed Bulldogs and Lady Texters apparel. You can find it all at Patton's downtown in Ruston. And of course, Patton's Western Wear. Dress to impress. Deck yourself in the fam out. Go to Patton's. Again, a North Louisiana tradition since 2007. Teddy Allen, when he had you on a podcast, I don't know, a year or two ago, pulled out his phone, recorded it, y'all chopped it up. He asked you about British shows. So you being from England, you don't stick your nose up at that. You will consume some British-related programming, right?
I am such a binge watcher of TV on my days off. The Great British Bake Off, Peaky Blinders, but the one that I'm into right now, and I'm such Bulldog.
Okay.
Ross Bulldog, he is the man. It is a period drama back in the early 1800s of southeastern England. It's southwest, actually. I got my geography wrong. But yeah, my version of switching off is binge watching some Netflix, and it will be a British show. So
Okay.
check it out.
I love that. Will I be seeing you in the gym much this spring with the season getting underway?
Yeah, I'm still halfway through my half marathon training, but I think now I need to start putting on some muscle. Our challenge is to some chin-ups.
Okay, let's do it.
The good old Planet Fitness.
Yes, let's have a competition. We'll get it on video. Hashtag content.
Hashtag content.
Yeah. When's the half marathon?
Oklahoma City. I think it's in May. That's the goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I let you go, final thought from you on this program and how you want it to be viewed, the identity or culture, and what fans can continue to expect out of you leading this program here as we enter the spring season.
Just the grittiness of my players, and we're one big family. You know, I think, you know, they don't care what you know until they know that you care. And what I love about the Ruston and the Tech community is they've continuously shown up on match day, and it's for them. And so come on out, cheer on the girls, and just be who you are, and let's fight on.
I love it. Sarge, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hopefully we've covered a variety of all the good stuff here to reveal who you are, who your team, your program, the girls are in a positive light. I know we have, but I hope you enjoyed yourself here today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And go Bears.
Go Bears. All the best to Sarge and the tennis program this year. I'm the voice of the Bulldogs, Kyle Schasberger. Appreciate Carson on the ones and twos. We'll hear from Matt Nantis, the bowling head coach, next week on Tech Drive.